stupid bitch. That's right, infidels. Only 1 week away from the holiday that you'll never forget. So hear me now. It's Hacker Hamin. It's MSG, ready to break down all the news from WWE, AEWs, and the world as it crumbles around you. Comments incoming. Duck and cover here on the Friday Locker Room. YOLO. What's good, you guys? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Here live, Ben Hamin YouTube channel, Hamin Media Group channel on YouTube, and all the great clips on Twitter and Facebook inside the group. And glad to be back in the studio this morning after pretty hardcore week for a lot of open to closes for old Hacker at Ravens Joint while my partners were on the Dave Matthews tour out west. They had a great time, but takes a lot out of you, man, as every day does. So hopefully you had a great end of the summer. Hopefully you're not flooding anybody's feed with too many first day of school photos. But finally got those goddamn kids. Get those goddamn kids out of the house. Get them out of the boardroom. Get them out of everywhere. They're not invited to my birthday. So checking in. It's MSG. I'm the VPNDA today.
What's going on? How you doing?
Oh, man. Just trying to get going this morning, dog. Had my coffee, fed the dogs of war. And it's that season in upstate New York where I really love it, where it's not ball breaking hot. Nice breeze. The leaves are about to start to change. So my favorite time of the year, the next 2 months, kind of kicking off hunting season. And I'll actually be able to get in the woods this year based on how my schedule finally is. So I'm really
Yeah, it's been a while since you've been in the woods.
Yeah, man. I mean, I used to hunt every weekend, and my whole agenda was being out there, and it really does help center me. And I have some of my best inspirations and ideas while I'm in solitude of the wilderness. So I'm excited to get back out there this year and spend some time with my posse and my dad and, nature. So
nature. Yeah. Well, we've got an action-packed show here today, Ben. We got a lot of headlines today. Lots of stuff going down here. Rick was sending me some stuff last night, and there's been a little bit of controversy with Matt Riddle. So let's hop right into it. But the first thing I wanted to talk about today was Rampage Jackson was on Ariel Helwani yesterday. Did you see that?
I've seen clips that Hartnett was sending me, kind of worst of takes.
Yeah, so for those who missed it, there was a lot of different information. I do want to play a clip, but I'm not going to play all of them, but just a couple things he's been saying. He said, people automatically assume that I'm going to defend my son. I'm just as mad as Raja as they are. He said, I'm not surprised that Raja hasn't been arrested. Like, I feel like the police are doing a deep investigation because this is not the first time that something like this has happened in pro wrestling. He said Raja was there as a fan and he could stream. From my understanding, Psycho Stu didn't know him from Adam, didn't know him from Steve. And then he also said, I think he should do a little time, do a little community service. I also said, I don't talk to Raja no more right now. My job as a father is to still take care of my son because I love him. Even with how upset I am with my son, I still love him. But the big one was him coming out after Psycho Stu. So let me go ahead and I'll pull this up here, share my screen. Share screen. Ariel Helwani. All right, so here is him on about 2 minutes.
When my son gets when he gets in the ring, go back and watch this shit. They put the music on for him. They changed the music for him, bro.
Okay.
The promoter told him to fuck him up, and I think AJ Man is the only one they had a little common sense and tell Roger, like, look, remember what a receipt is. You just pop them one time. AJ Mann was the only one that had like a little common sense right then. I wish he would have called me, but I was on the ground in New York, so it probably wouldn't have went through. Bro, they changed the music when my son get in the ring. Bro, but no, this is the fucked up thing though. What took them so long? Because they said, all right, you punch him until we pull you off. What took his other friends, his team, whatever the fuck they are, so long to get in there and get Roger off of him? Think about that. That's probably why ain't nobody talking to the fucking police. Not because I fucking paid anybody off. I wouldn't pay. I would never do that. You can't even do that shit in America. That shit is illegal as fuck. I don't know those dudes. And that shit, then they put me in there and I can go to fucking jail for some shit like that. I ain't that fucking stupid. Y'all, the police need to investigate that shit. Why it took his friend so long to get in that fucking ring.
But all to say, regardless, he should have never even been there.
He should never even been there. But I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna leave you to this, and this gonna be the last time I talk about this shit. This ain't the first time Psycho Stu done some shit like this backstage. Motherfucker be drinking all the goddamn time, and he pays that pro wrestling saved me from this PTSD and stuff, like nobody want to fire his ass. But AJ Mana told me everything. This ain't the first time he done some drunken shit like this backstage. So they know his ass. They ain't gonna snitch on him. I don't owe them, none of them, no loyalty. My loyalty to my son, and even though I don't fuck with my son right now, I'm still gonna keep it 100 and be loyal. The police need to investigate that shit. How many times Psycho Stu attack somebody backstage and piss people off, being drunk and shit. Then you guys will figure out what took so long for them pro wrestlers to get in that fucking ring and pull my son off of them. Investigate that shit.
Yeah. This is the last time he's going to talk about it till the next time in 2 days. He's obviously met with a lawyer. He is doing the groundwork with this, and I'm sure this will be replayed in a court case to kind of absolve himself while shifting reasonable suspicion of how things look on camera. And it's a smart lawyer move. It absolutely is. And that's why he's on Ariel Helwani right here, is to try and, what they would say, dictate the conversation. Don't let the tabloids spin it a certain way. But Rampage isn't the, judicial minded person.
Most eloquent individual.
Yeah, dude. But he's doing his best to protect his assets, protect his son, and reframe how it looks on the live stream that was pretty much going on through everything, and also kind of now putting it on Psycho Stu's behavior and showing laying the groundwork for a pattern of alcohol abuse backstage, being at these shows drunk, which furthermore would go, if there's multiple instances of this, how is this going on in the WWID program? That'd be part of that as I went forward. But that is a possible truth that he is drinking. However, what I saw as a worker was that workers had talked to each other before Raja Jackson and AJ Mana showed up. AJ Mana probably laying the groundwork with the Samoans that own, or to try and bring this kid in, instead of just showing up with him and acting like Psycho Stu smacked him in the head with a beer can out of nowhere, acting like it was a work. Those workers, where this wasn't on camera, and this is just me spitballing based on what I saw the fallout kind of be, had already talked to each other and knew this kid was coming in, and they're going to try and highlight him as a celebrity, nepotism celebrity, the son of Rampage Jackson, to get some viral views in hopes that Rampage will end up at their show. AJ Mana and his rant kind of stooges that off. And I knew that beforehand because I've been a part of those dirtbag booking conversations, how we're going to highlight somebody that we have an opportunity to use and get everybody over off of that and get views or get buzz going. That's how you do it as a promoter. So all of that went down before the beer can shot happened. Now, is it right for them to be drinking beers before the show? Probably not. I never seen Hammer drink them before the show. I sure seen Hammer drink them after the show. No, I'm kidding, brother. No, everybody wants a cold one on a hot night after you busted your ass in the ring. So that's what I was seeing when he hit him with the empty beer can, near empty, and go, oh, you're not going to sell it? That means he thought that Rampage was smartened up that as soon as we get there, Briz, when we're on camera, everything's going to be a work, because he's asking why he's not selling it, not just hitting him with a beer can going, he's not smartened up. He's not smartened up. Well, you should have smartened him up, so, but what did I just say was my opinion of it? Rampage just laid out what a lawyer would see, where, okay, that's a liability. Let's go that way and press that button, because they don't have to prove it. They just have to raise reasonable doubt. You know what I mean? Of this situation. And unfortunately, I don't know if the lawyer of prosecution is going to be able to lay out how it happens in a carny way as opposed to the civilian way, which can look framed up two completely different ways. So Rampage did do his kind of best here, but this was, to me, a PR move that a lawyer goes, what's the biggest platform we can get on where we can start pushing our version of the story? And somewhere in the middle is the truth. I'm just watching this as a third party, across the country commentator on what I see in how pop culture works, how street culture works, and how wrestling carniness culture works, all coming together in the perfect storm. And then was that Rampage on the phone gassing him up, saying he got his ass kicked by a bunch of guys in their underwear and shit like that, like before he did the run-in? Where was his mea culpa there? Because he's pouring gas on that fire of a kid trying to break out of his dad's superstar shadow, who's already got mental issues, as Rampage has admitted, since his mother was murdered. And even that's a weird part of the story that nobody's fucking covered yet or gone into. And maybe that's the lawyer's insanity plea card, So from watching this, it doesn't have much to do with anything more than let's create more spectacle and lay the groundwork for reasonable doubt to me, So, but this is going to be a TMZ ongoing weekly thing and tabloid and all that kind of shit. But I think he was arrested like 2 days ago, Raja Jackson, right? For the first time.
I didn't think he was arrested yet.
I thought they arrested him. Am I wrong?
Rampage Jackson says Raja should do some jail time. He's not even arrested yet. Former UFC star insists Raja Jackson cannot escape prison. So I don't think he's been arrested yet.
Oh, I thought there was a story the other day. Maybe it just
it's. I mean, there's a lot of stuff coming out that says Raja Jackson will be arrested soon, but as of one day yesterday, he's not arrested yet.
Okay, then it must have been misinformation through the timeline when I saw it. So.
Did you?
Or
I mean,
Mandela effect, and I've woken up and he's still not arrested. We're just on Groundhog's Day loop at this point.
I mean, do you agree with what Final Boss just said? He's suggesting that some of his coworkers wanted Stu to die by accident. That's why they played the music and never pulled him off.
Oh, yeah. So, no, that's more reasonable doubt. No one's going to go in a worked fucking indie that's WWID. I fucking hate this guy. Let's set him up on camera to get the fucking almost murdered. No, that's not how it works. Okay. But Rampage, his lawyer, has to raise these doubts. And if you show a pattern of behavior of Stu being drunk backstage, and there's other confrontations where he's had that, and you show that pattern of behavior, now you can make it, the jury possibly think, oh, these guys were out to get back at him, and that's why they let it go on, because they've had enough of Stu, and you make Stu look like the bad guy. I don't think that's a tough picture to paint out of this, scenario. But you're a lawyer who's spitballing right now, and Rampage's people are trying to do it. So this is what we're going with right here. So as many little seeds as we can plant to see what will take, what will blossom, or give us sound bites of a different opinion than what we're seeing on camera, right? So like frame the picture up different ways. No way, no chance in hell that the fucking locker room's like, let him kick the fuck out of Stu. I hate that motherfucker. Like is what the groundwork would be. But you know, that's what attorneys are paid to do, bro, to find anything you can. And when you're coming up with kind of ridiculous things like that, it's because there isn't a lot of wiggle room, because this whole goddamn thing, from the inciting incident, the apology, the gas up of AJ Manna, and even Rampage tries to protect AJ Manna right there by going, see, he told him to get a receipt. Remember what a receipt is? That's not how he was saying that shit. He was saying, get that motherfucker back. And if he's got a problem with it, I'll come in and beat the shit out of him too. Acting macho, like, because I'm over in this locker room, B. Like he's trying to stunt for Roger Jackson because he trains with his dad at the dojo or whatever. You know what I mean? So there's all this, how can I use this guy's celebrity, contact to get myself over, but then it all blows up. And you see that in AJ Manna's podcast rant afterwards. You're seeing these guys break down on fucking podcasts. What should everybody be doing if they were seriously smart? Staying small as shit and not saying anything, because every time they get on camera, they contradict themselves, where you will then be able to show both clips of the live stream and what you try to do in damage control afterwards to the court, to the if it goes that far, to the jury, and you're going to look even worse, because in real time while it was going on, you look a completely different way, and now I can show you how to spin it. I mean, I haven't passed the bar or anything, but with the amount of evidence that was live streamed on Kick, dude, a fucking high schooler could get a conviction on this son of a bitch, So that's what this whole Ariel Helwani interview was. And like I said, if this kid's whole life is about being an influencer and making a name for himself, well, the TMZ salacious route may be the way to go, where you do this and they live stream your trial and you have all your reactions, and the media gets to play their race card and they get to do all this other shit. So everybody gets ratings out of the freak show, of the spectacle of, yeah, we get to live vicariously and ruin somebody's life who, like, I feel like powerful over a stranger. It's a weird addiction we have, but he gets out in 3 years or less. It wasn't, I'm sure they can plea it down from attempted murder. That's what they'll go for. You want to go for the highest charge possible, so your settlement in civil suit is much higher, and then you'll see the apology tour and the I Found Jesus tour, and then he'll get caught 5 years from now high on cocaine with fucking 2 other baby mamas, and the process of that motherfucker will continue.
Yeah.
The tiger won't change its stripes.
Final Boss says that Vince should be hiring him, or should be hiring Rampage for his legal team.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, there's your Rampage Raja Jackson update. Very interesting move by Rampage to go on Ariel Helwani and have a conversation like that when, as you mentioned, everybody should be staying small, but Rampage sounds like he's trying to cover himself.
Snitching on himself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whether it's his heart's in the right place, sure. And definitely to protect his bank account as well. You know what I mean? And I'm not sure the structure of if he has a trust or however it is to protect his money from his, divorced wife and his deceased wife, who knows? So I thought that was where this shit was going to go, was the closed book on her murder, that we can't really find out anything about it. So who knows, man? The freak show is going to continue, and here we are to commentate on it. And now they're trying to paint Psycho Stu in a drunkard light. We'll see. If I was Psycho Stu, I wouldn't reply to any of that. If I was his lawyer, I'd tell him to say no. And like, because that's the burden of proof is on them to provide witnesses then that show that pattern of behavior, or if there is other footage of Psycho Stu at shows doing things that he shouldn't be doing, you know, or in the ring, you know what I mean? Like if I was a lawyer, I'd be looking to try and get the catalog from Knox Pro, but then Knox Pro doesn't want to work with anybody because WWE is telling them to shut the fuck up, and TKO, and TKO is probably paying for their lawyers, even though they took the WWID stamp off the door. That's how you stay small. And you shut up and you shut the fuck up. And then the LAPD are under fire, as usual, for dragging their feet on this type of shit. But this shit is so high profile, high media. I don't know how we're still going slow. I mean, the process of interviewing everybody in the locker room, I'm sure, is not an easy one, but before they make a decision on, is this attempted murder, premeditated murder, an assault, you know what I mean? Like what they're going to charge him with that could possibly stick. But seems like in LA, you'd want biggest headlines, biggest charge, you know? So, shocker, California fuck shit up.
Big time stuff. Well, there's your Roger Jackson and Rampage Jackson update for now. All right, so next story I've got here is there's a claim being made that former WWE star Matt Riddle no-showed a charity wrestling event. It's being reported by Cultaholic that former WWE star Matt Riddle no-showed a wrestling event on Sunday, August 31st, that was raising money for charities in support of survivors of domestic abuse as well as homeless veterans. Riddle was booked to face Simon Miller at Global Wrestling Kingdom, A New Kingdom Rises in Barnsley, England. However, Cultaholic stated that Riddle never traveled to the United Kingdom for the show and has yet to return the deposit paid to him by the promotion. Cultaholic noted that sources close to the situation have revealed to Cultaholic that Riddle was booked for the Kingdom event through his manager months ago, but Riddle expressed concerns about his flight, claiming it was cheap, and his unhappiness about being in a hotel room in Barnsley for 2 days. After Riddle revealed his concerns, GWK tried to organize pro wrestling seminars so he could make some extra money while the United Kingdom, but they were unable to finalize any events on such short notice. Riddle didn't cancel his booking, but he never traveled to the UK, and a driver was left waiting for hours. GWK then revealed a reply from Riddle, which was noted that he accepted another booking, but would still potentially make the show. Riddle did not open any GWK future messages and his status for the event. However, now Matt Riddle has now come back out, and he's responded, and this is what Matt Riddle had to say. He said, "I'm going to make this quick. GWK, the reason I didn't go there is because you booked me a flight for Thursday for a show that was happening Sunday, and you said you were booking me meet and greets and other matches and appearances. You did none of that. I had nothing scheduled, and I was going to sit in a hotel room for 2 days in London. I told you multiple times I can't do that or wouldn't do that. I got to work for Friday and Saturday. And Thursday, I worked for Thursday, Friday, and Thursday. I worked Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and I told you I would fly to London Saturday evening. You said you pay for it. No, you paid for it. Take it out of my pay, whatever. You guys refuse, so I flew to Miami and wrestled there. All right. By the way, I'm reading exactly what he said, so if it sounds a little off, sorry. I never said I wouldn't pay you guys back. That's a lie. Also, this show wasn't a charity event. That's a lie. That was a last-second change. You also booked me the worst flight in history, bro. Middle seat, no meal, no check bag. GWK, this is probably your last run." He then followed up more comments by saying, I could explain everything in great detail. I'm not lying, but I really don't give a fuck anymore. Most of you motherfuckers are dumb C-words. Just like when you believe that Me Too bullshit and all the other fucking garbage. You're all fucking dumb, and it's fucking insane. It's fucking insane. Fucking believe these fucking creeps. Whatever, dog. At the end of the day, I'm going to keep getting booked. I'm probably going to start fighting again. I'm probably going to do a lot of other shit. Fucking crushing on OnlyFans because I've got a big you-know-what. And I'm nice as fuck, dude. Everybody, if you don't like me, unfollow me. Go fuck yourselves, all right? I don't give a fuck because at the end of the day, the cream fucking rises the crop. And I'm really, really tired of trying to be nice to everybody because I hate to break it to you. Most of you guys are fucking morons. Peace.
Cream rises to the crop. That's a good one.
So your thoughts on Matt Riddle and this whole situation with him one company saying we booked you, you didn't show up. Matt Riddle saying I didn't show up because you didn't provide proper amenities.
Well, baby on the way, Matt, bills to pay. So of course he's not going to want to blow off his weekends when that's when he's going to be booked working the indies. So if he had Thursday, Friday, Saturday shots already set up with meet and greets, he needs to make that money, not go to London and sit in a hotel room when these guys on the promotion just booked him for a match Sunday, and because they got a cheap flight at earlier on that they did it, and then they're scrambling to get what? Matt Riddle shows up and you got 5 kids confirmed for your, in-ring workaround, as opposed to 25 if we would have promoted it like properly and had the whole package set up and the radio stuff, and we're expecting him to be here. Like, if that was what was going on, then he kind of blew off a whole weekend based around him, but it doesn't sound like that's what it was. And he was even willing to work with them of, I understand you're eating shit on this flight, so take it out of my pay, whatever it costs to book me Saturday night to take the red eye over, and I'll fucking, get gimmicked up and I'll fucking be there and have your guy ready for Sunday. When you're dealing with a superstar, plans can change talent handling wise. So then they're like, the driver sat there for hours like it's a fucking limo waiting for him, dude. It's the referee in a fucking Fiat. You know what I mean? So like the way the indie paints it and tries to shit on him, they're going to try and not have people, want refunds from tickets and pass the heat on the mat. Is there some professional maybe lack there? Yeah, on his end, but of not going because you just started fabing the emails. You know what I mean? You stop going to class. You're just, if I'm not looking at it, it won't happen. And then everyone's going to deal with the fallout from that, from getting fabed. There were the promoters like, is he coming? Is he coming? I don't know. There's probably 2 days of that, like fabed calls and fabed emails. So, and then Matt's been through all the bullshit with cancel culture and, the drug ribs and now the porn star stuff and the breakup of his family and the stuff that happened in the NXT van or whatever it was alleged. So, this guy's he's used to controversy. So his get back is kind of like, fuck all you civilian motherfuckers. You don't know shit about what you're talking about the carny bullshit I have to deal with these indie promoters. And if I want to blow off a show, I don't give a shit. I'll go back to fighting. One indie show isn't going to break me. Fuck you kind of attitude, So everyone's got a little bit of maybe lack of professionalism, guilt in this and the way they handled it when they possibly could have. But I've booked shows where things go sideways and you lose your main talent for a variety of reasons. And that's the way it goes. Like I was just did the show with GGP's Hall of Fame induction. Masha Slamovich calls and says she got into a car accident on the way there. I've only met her once. She was lovely, but I've heard that excuse before from indie workers who don't want to show up. Now, maybe she did, and I hope she was fine, and I hope everything worked out well. But this is an easy, like, oh, I'm not going to make the show. Like, do we turn around and bury Masha Slamovich aside from right out here? No, but like, you don't go out in the ring and be like, she didn't do shit for us and she thinks she's over. Like, Mickey James was supposed to headline Woodsman's show at 2CW versus Jessica Havoc. I had that all booked out. And there was an issue with Mickey making the plane and whatnot. And I don't even remember how it really went down, but that was a huge show for me, my family's Woodsman show. And now my main event poster is kind of shot. I mean, we still killed it with Hacksaw and me and Dick Justice and Havoc, but card subject to change. Do I go online and go, Mickey James just fucked us over? No, like she might have changed her mind and been like, I don't really feel like going. And that's part of the Carney booking game. You never know. And you're getting worked by talent if they just don't feel like it or have a variety of reasons why they don't want to. But when it comes together, hopefully everything works well, man.
Yeah, seems like Matt Riddle's got a lot of irons in the fire. He's definitely, we were on the I Like It Raw.
Got a big hammer on OnlyFans. He's doing his thing.
Yeah, on the I Like It Raw show from this week with myself, Big Ray, and Jimmy T. I guess Ray got a copy of Pro Wrestling Illustrated from a coworker, and Matt Riddle, as of the end of July, was ranked like one of the top 10 wrestlers in the world right now. So he's definitely getting around, getting bookings, and definitely making his money right now.
Yeah, I feel bad. I kind of not cooled him off, but like we were interested in having him at Ravens Joint for a signing. Obviously the Stoner angle and everything, and he's one of those talents that is on the road and elusive unless you're ready to pay a premium price. Which, if we can do the metrics and make it make sense. But he was always cool in the interactions I have, even if we'd never like locked anything down yet. Like it's always a back and forth of like, can you do this? Oh, I can't. The Thursday would work better for me because I'm on the road. Or okay, let me know when you're in the Northeast so we can try and like I'm saying, okay, he might be booked at NEW, MCW, Immortal, someplace like that. How can I get him in a day earlier and do exactly what he wants here and be that part of the show at larger than life toy shop that's 100 yards from Ravens Joint front door? That way I can get families in there instead of bringing kids into the dispensary. But we work the promotion as like, all right, you pay $50 for Matt Riddle's autograph. You also get a $50 gift card, or you get a $25 gift card for Ravens Joint if you spend for the 75 premium package or whatever it is, So
yeah,
that way I'm probably making my money back from the signing, but it's the promotional value of driving people through Ravens Joint front door and getting them there. So that's how a smart promoter like Josh and myself book talent to get max value out of them. And it also gives him a little tour of the Northeast where he's getting paid from different people, and he can go back to Vegas or wherever he lives. And instead of one $5,000 booking, he's gotten 3 from 3 different promoters in the area doing different things. So he's a smart businessman and how to work it. And then when this shit comes out of like, he fucked us, like kinda, but at the same time, you played yourself, kid, by not having all those things lined up to have him there on Thursday where there wouldn't be a problem and get him in. He's saying, I don't want to sit in a fucking hotel room for 3 days when I could be making money, bro. And you didn't have any of that shit set up. Okay.
Okay. Next piece of information I've got here for you, Ben, is it looks like not everybody's on the same page in the Hulk Hogan camp. Looks like Brooke and Nick are not on the same page. As TMZ is reporting that Nick Hogan, representing his father, Hulk Hogan's estate, has filed a federal lawsuit against radio host Bubba the Love Sponge. The suit claims Bubba's upcoming documentary, Video Killed the Radio Star, The Untold Story of the Hulk Hogan Sex Tape Scandal, infringes on Hulk's copyrights and trademarks. Nick alleges that the film uses unauthorized images from the sex tape, including clips in a trailer, and promotes itself with a Hulk's trademark without permission. He also argues the release would violate a 2012 settlement between Hulk and Bubba. The lawsuit seeks to block the documentary's release and requests unspecified damages. Your thoughts on Nick Hogan now jumping into the Hulk Hogan saga, as well as it sounds like, I mean, we've seen and heard the video clips and radio clips. Brooke's been going on Bubba the Love Sponge's show here. So it sounds like she's, on the side of maybe building back a friendship with Bubba the Love Sponge, where you've got Nick here who's like, dude, you're not going to show this video of my dad.
Yeah, I thought Bubba and Hulk had reconciled. Now he's in his passing. Bubba's using it for every salacious headline to leak about them. And then now you're going to turn around and you're that much of an addict for the spotlight. Video killed the radio star. Like cutesy titles and shit like that to now tap dance on Hulk Hogan's grave to see if some fucking pennies fall out for you. Like, dude, that it shows that the radio DJ could be one of the lowest slime bag forms of entertainer in the spectrum of carny entertaining, So disgusting. I don't know what the relationship is with the kids, or, you know, that Brooke has gone on there and said some things like, don't push it because I know things, and I'll fucking start naming names, like more skeletons in the closet from bitter people who were in this Carney Hogan knows best family, whether it's Linda breaking down on Facebook and fucking acting a fool, and, you know, his wife is currently involved with, or was involved with, Scientology. Nobody is like, who's staying quiet on that? Them, probably because they got their lawyers in it and knuckle deep. And sounds like Nick's just trying to protect his dad's legacy and not let we've had this tape, and now that he's gone, I can let it out because we got to strike while the iron's hot, because we can't let this story cool off because you know, Rampage Jackson's taking our headlines. Like, that's the level of greed and fucking fame addiction that you're gonna put out there after Hogan, who's still on ice for an autopsy. Like, it's almost more of this freak show TMZ shit of, how far can we split the family? Who's the catalyst involved? Let's revisit all the ghosts of the past that tear down the image of Hulk Hogan, even in death, so we can expose him as a carny, racist, drug addict. That, I mean, even this week, Mr. T's daughter doing stand-up went viral, talking about when she was a little girl after WrestleMania, and fucking that Piper took liberties with Mr. T, broke his nose, and that Hogan was in the hotel room saying, brother, I'm so sorry. No, when I see Piper, I'm going to kick his ass, doing lines of cocaine. So right now we're besmirching his fucking name, which is, it's probably absolutely true. And then Piper shows up, probably also hoping to rip a line, but everybody's already tooted up, and Hogan fucking puts him against the wall. Or is that Hogan and Piper conniving, working Mr. T to go, brother, you fucking stiff him. I don't give a shit, dude. And now we got to do a fake fucking shoot in front of the little kids and Mr. T to make it look like everything is paid off. Like, that's the level that top carnies will work at, bro. So who knows? But my point is, the tap dancing on Hogan's legacy is going to continue because there's a fuck ton of money probably at stake, and a vast group of nepotism, lawyers, good brothers, bad brothers, who all want to keep sucking on the teat of Hulkamania to make their own money, you know? And so until that ends, and that's a long process, that's usually like a 4 to 10 year battle when it starts to get really ugly, you know? So we'll see where it goes next.
And for those wondering, it does look like that it looks like it's actually already out on Apple TV, as far as you can order it here. Here's a preview of it.
Suits today against Heather Clem and her ex-husband, Bubba the Love Sponge.
You did what? You let your wife have sex with Hogan? I was like, well, how the hell did somebody get a hold of that tape?
And you didn't know you'd been videoed?
No, I had no idea there was a camera set up.
The video somehow got into the hands of Gawker Media.
Who the hell leaked this?
Right. Now you say,
That's
listen,
the problem.
I guess he feels you leaked it.
Are you stupid?
At that point, I knew it was over.
Like him or not, Bubba the Love Sponge is one of the most famous people the Bay Area has ever produced.
Bubba's been named DJ of the Year by Billboard magazine.
We were #1 by far.
Bubba was constantly getting in trouble.
Bubba admits to being fired from 4 radio stations for outrageous behavior.
And he was never afraid to pick fights with local politicians.
News channels reported his best friend leaked the tape.
The allegation that Bubba was the one that released this tape is ludicrous.
When we lost the contract with SiriusXM, there started to be some resentment.
Let's work together. Let's get Bubba off the morning show.
It was just like, what do we have to do to kill this motherfucker?
Hogan knows Bubba didn't.
All right, we don't need to watch it all. But to me, from that trailer, it seems like it's more about Bubba the Love Sponge, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. This is the spotlight addiction. I'm the most over guy in the Bay Area. You know what that means in New York? Fuck all, dog. Like, I don't care about the Bay Area DJs of the hottest who's killing it out there. Like, and you get blown up in your mind and you want to do shock jock shit and how far can we push it? And you're doing whatever they did, like on Stern, anal ring toss or whatever the fuck it is with whores. Like, it shows you will go to the lowest levels of the Baskin Robbins 31 flavors of entertainment to rip Howard Stern or whatever it is you were trying to do. But good, you got your name out there as being Hogan's boy and on that, but now it's fame at any cost. How do I get back into that warm spotlight feeling? Even if it's look at it's salacious and it's this and that. And somebody probably gave him a good cash advance in order to sell the story, you know? So he took a lot of heat and he's been waiting till Hogan dies to do it within a month afterwards and have this in the can ready to go. You edit. How long would it take to edit all this shit together and have it ready to rock, bro? They've been working on this shit, just waiting to pull the trigger.
Yeah. Very, very, very confusing situation between all the three parties, between Nick, Brooke, and Bubba the Love Sponge. Doesn't seem like everybody's on the same page. And as you mentioned, it sounds like a lot of carny BS. Everyone's just trying to get their nut.
Yeah, this is what happens when you don't earn it yourself from the ground up. Your kids are going to suffer. You've been on the road. They've never probably had the true father figure they need. They're searching for something in their life. You know what I mean? And your other kid, like, you know, estranges from you and the other one goes to jail because he thinks he can do no wrong. And your wife's gone and the whole idea of the family is blown to shit because it's all about Hulkamania and the fucking greater legacy of that. And that's when you hear my sacrifice of what it is. There's going to be people left in the wake. And maybe because these hangers on like Bubba the Love Sponge or whoever else is running Hogan's shop, you know, they're going to try and keep carving out their piece. And now the stealing will begin because what's on paper and what isn't, you know what I mean? Nailed down. Like I guarantee there'll be cash missing and things along those lines. And, you know, maybe some paperwork destroyed. So we can't say, oh, he's the most, and Nick should get this. And then, you know, there's going to be some weird shit going on in the future.
All right, well, let's jump over to some Vince McMahon news. Yeah, pal. So WWE Hall of Famer says Vince McMahon was dressed like Dr. Evil at his 80th birthday party. While speaking on his Poddin' Ain't Easy, WWE Hall of Famer The Godfather commented on attending Vince McMahon's 80th birthday party in New York City. He says, I'm not going to mention everybody who was there, but of course Undertaker was there, Kane was there, Bradshaw was there. We had a good time. John Cena was there. A lot of entertainers were there. Jelly Roll performed. He said, I'm like, Vince, thank you for inviting me. He goes, Charles, I just want you to know that nobody's here that's not my true friend. And we talked for a second, and then we walked in, but he had on like a Dr. Evil character from Austin Powers movie suit. I didn't want to say it to him, but first of all, he looked better than what I've seen in pictures of him lately. He looks a lot better than that. He's walking a lot better than that. He introduced me to his girlfriend or whatever she was, but I thought, Dr. Evil, you're Dr. Evil. I go in, everybody of course is talking to Vince. He gets to me and Taker, and he gets to me and Taker are talking, and Kane walks away and Taker goes, dude, Vince looking like Dr. Evil? I'm like, dude, that's exactly what I was thinking. Had a good time. Had a good time. Vince is looking like
$1 trillion. Now let me pet that pussy.
I mean, is that just nepotism on his own part? Like showing up looking like Dr. Evil?
Do you think Vince knows who Dr. Evil is?
I don't know.
Do you think Vince has ever watched Austin Powers?
I, you know, part of me would say no, but I wouldn't put
anything past. Stop right there. No. So let's on this posture, let's say that Vince does not know who Dr. Evil is. What are the odds that another billionaire tell me about Dr. Evil's character?
He was outlandish. He was had an ego, wanted to take over the world.
Would the character traits line up enough that it would influence the fashion sense? So it's just happenstance that a billionaire hell bent on taking over the world and never dying would dress that way. I would say the odds lean in that favor, as opposed to I'm Dr. Evil and I like Austin Powers and I'm cosplaying as a rib. I think that's just the suit of evil supervillains that they would naturally. I like that. Let's get that in my size.
But doesn't he have some sort of PR person or some sort of I don't know whatever they call them, a fashionista type individual that would be like, hey, maybe we shouldn't put you in this suit?
Or maybe they're in on the rib and they fucking wanted to do it as a rib, and he's like, I like this. Let's go with it. Like to me, that's what I think it's more like, as opposed to like I'm doing a joke that I'm 80 and I'm wearing a Dr. Evil suit. Let's go back and put heat on Charles, my man Godfather. What's the stooge here? Two things. He looks better. Why?
I don't know why.
Because the adrenochrome got here, guy.
Yeah, got it.
He looks different than I know he did like a month ago when he looked old. Oh, okay. I had 4 blood transfusions in the last week. Possibly. Right?
Yeah.
I can't go into my 80th birthday looking like shit. That's been on his mind the last 3 months. Who's on the guest list? Who wasn't on the guest list?
Linda?
And
Stephanie?
No, let's
Triple
stop at the
H?
first one. Linda wasn't there.
Yeah.
Who did Godfather just say was there?
Kane, Undertaker, JBL, Bradshaw.
Who?
I'm sorry?
He met who? I met Vince and his girlfriend.
Oh, his girlfriend. I'm sorry, whatever she
whatever.
was. She was, yeah.
Forgive me. Did I miss something in the Mandela effect? Is Vince McMahon still married to Linda?
I thought he was legally.
We've got the head of the Department of Education, not at her husband's 80th milestone birthday, a billionaire, but who's there?
His girlfriend.
What kind of fucking world are we living in, bro?
I don't know.
What are we doing? Meanwhile, fucking the Coldplay CEO arms around goes viral, but Vince McMahon with his girlfriend while he's married to the Department of Education head is not viral while dressed as Dr. Evil. Like, come on, B. That's a $10 million paparazzi photo right there.
Yeah.
So that alone in that stooge where you're like, oh, he was dressed like Dr. Evil. I'm like, that's not even the fucking headline.
The story. Okay.
Yeah. Like
the story is
that
Linda's not there. Stephanie's not there. Triple H is not there.
Vince's
girlfriend is there.
Yeah. What the fuck is going on, B? And who is dating Vince McMahon at 80 years old?
Same person who's dating Bill Belichick, who's 80 years old.
Who's having kids with Al Pacino and Robert De Niro.
Right.
Like, what is going on with these fucking gold diggers, bro? And getting their hooks into billionaires who still want some young fur on the side. Younger, anyway.
Bobo says everyone who is here is my true friend. Did that stick out to you as well when McMahon made that statement?
Yeah. Well, that's interesting because it's funny, like when you say it like that. But what is the subtext of that? Those who are not here have done what?
I guess either said that Vince McMahon is guilty, or they believe that Vince McMahon is guilty, or
sure. At the bottom line, they've betrayed me.
Betrayed him. Okay.
Betrayal. I try and I'm not trying to put you on the college hot seat of how I ask questions, but it's just like I look at things of like, what is the subconscious and the subtext of the scene, and what is the theme? When you say, my real friends are here, without saying it, those who are not here have betrayed me and are now sent to the ice wall. Like you're exiled. And this is, I've been reading this because I've been studying Stoicism pretty regularly for the last couple of years. A lot of senators or philosophers that went against the king or the emperor, excuse me, in ancient Greece and Roman times some would be killed eventually or asked to commit suicide, but a lot of times they would be exiled to islands where there wasn't a lot of resources. Like at one time, I think like 750 people were exiled to an island, and because of their philosophy or whatever, they were deemed a threat to the fucking, power structure. Some never came back, and doesn't seem like this is history repeating itself in that, like, who betrayed me? They are exiled from my life and the fucking $1 billion Saudi future that I tried to create for us, and was Ari Emanuel there?
No, didn't say
was the Rock there?
No.
Okay.
So he feels like those guys have betrayed him.
Was Nick Khan there?
Doesn't sound like it. No.
The betrayers. Bro.
The people that scooped the company out from under him.
Welcome to the world of hostile takeovers at the highest corporate level. And when you do business with family, and dude, this show Succession that I'm watching is identical to the True McMahon lifestyle of how the kids have probably had to play it with a maniacal, tyrannical father, control of a major media asset, doing global deals, and that you still are part of the family. So there's an inner circle inside the greater corporate circle with stockholders and board of directors. It is identical in the chess moves of how they set each other up, put pressure on each other, are always dangled the carrot of the top spot only to see if you'll cut your brother or sister's throat to get it and come at me and knock me off the throne, because that's what it's going to take to do that. That's exactly what he said to Shane about, you're going to have to take this knife and drive it into my heart. And if you don't do it, then I know you're not man enough to do it. I just watched a scene nearly identical to that in Succession, except the son takes the proverbial knife and does drive it into the heart of the father. And the father fucking even kind of like, when he's watching on TV, smirks like, I'm proud of my boy that he came to fucking kill me, and come for the top spot. It's true to life Shakespeare, bro. It really is Hamlet, King Lear, all mixed into one.
Goodness gracious, there's a lot of things going on at the top.
Yeah, dude. And is this not what happens in empires all the time, whether it's a corporate one or a political one? And it always ends up this being the son fucking up because the father was never focused on them, whether it's a Hunter Biden, type fucking thing. So, or the scorned wife who wants power for herself, very Hillary Clinton, very Linda McMahon, So, well, I mean, what was Linda in the process before anything? She was someone who knew where the bodies were buried while the fucking bank account stack corporately, and having ends with Trump. No previous fucking, government experience, aside from the little small business thing that she had been named to kind of get her foot in the door. It's the same thing they did with Hillary. We'll stack the vote in New York and get you over as a senator from New York. Never lived here except for to do book tours for the super rich down in Orange County. And then they thought that was going to be the fast track to the presidency. Not with the husbands they've got. Not with Bill Clinton's fucking body count. Not with Vince. Yeah, not with Vince McMahon's. It doesn't stop with this. Like, okay, you're going to achieve this high level of eliteness. Here's the checklist of fucking dysfunctional, crazy shit that you almost have to go through to get to that point.
Well, jumping back over now to Matt Riddle. Here's some more Matt Riddle comments. So Matt Riddle claims that CM Punk is a creep who has been lingering around the NXT locker room a little too much. Last month, former WWE star Matt Riddle claimed that he heard from people in WWE that CM Punk is a bitch to work with. While speaking to TMC's Inside the Ring, Riddle commented on Punk again, and here are some of the highlights. CM Punk's a bitch. He can't beat me in a fight. If he wants to step up, he can meet me in a bare-knuckle boxing fight. He can meet me in an MMA cage. Whatever, dude. It doesn't matter to me. AJ, talking about his wife, I have no problem with her. She never stepped into it. I mean, to be fair, and I'm not one to talk, but she did get around from what I heard. But no disrespect to that. People like to hook up. And if that's the worst thing she did, whatever, dude. I've done it too. But yeah, no ill will and towards anybody else. He says, I have no ill will towards CM Punk. I bet he's a nice enough guy if you agree with him. But I don't know, I think he's fake, and I think he's a creep. And that's coming from me. And people think I'm a creep. I feel like he's just lingering around the NXT locker room a little too much.
Yeah, I don't disagree with a fair amount. He's a bitch, but I don't have a problem with him. He's a nice guy. The ridiculousness of wrestlers where they come out hot, and I'm guilty of this, and then you double back within 5 sentences later, But yeah, it is suspect when a top guy is hanging out with the 20-year-old who looks just like his wife does in a lot of ways. She's my little sister. She's little girl Punk and all that. Dude, you know what it is when the fox sniffing around the hen house, and the girls know too. And of course, they're not going to put it over because now you're CM Punk's bestie, and maybe that gets you fast tracked to the main roster, or you become, the midnight "Are you up?" text, and come over to the hotel room on the slide or kayfabe. I'll make sure you get some tryout matches on SmackDown next week when we're in Cincinnati. That's all that needs to be said, right? And this is the Carney College, bro. People, of course, are going to hook up with each other, and girls are going to use their feminine charms and starstruck, I'm somebody because the top guys are into me, when the reality is you're still probably being booked, not because you can do a fucking code red on somebody, but it's because we need some entertainment for the road, and we need girls who are broken into the Carney lifestyle, who are now mafia made and can't tell that, and we have an agreement about it. And maybe your career will start to take off, and you'll be doing twin magic on the road, or you'll be the man, or you'll be whatever it is, and get your hooks into a top star, and you'll become a top star. Seems to be a weird model in this shit. And Riddle's not without plenty of fingers pointing at him for NXT infractions that are alleged, as opposed to nothing that's really come out about Punk. So maybe he's projecting a little bit there, that could be a subconscious thing as well. But yeah, when the top guy's sniffing around the girls' locker room, it's not to go, oh, you're fucking, your 3 clothesline comeback was inspiring. Like the way you threw that third clothesline as opposed to the first one, do it like that. Do it like that. Like you just came to NXT to do that. Nah, dude, it's let's see who's coming up and wants some free chain wrestling lessons.
Yeah, definitely sounds like a little suspect.
And then they wait for you to fucking have a little side thing with somebody. Not that girl's there. I think she's already gone, right?
Yeah.
But they would rib it in the fact that they'll wait for you to have a little side thing that nobody knows about, or maybe your wife does, and it's unspoken. And then they bring back your wife because they want to see backstage. Let's see how this plays out with, just to fuck with them, bro. That's that's highly possible and plausible. Or they do the opposite. You guys are the young starstruck lovers who came together, and now you brought heat to the locker room. You think there isn't heat backstage of the fucking little lunchroom? Oh, what did she say? But when it comes to Tiffany Stratton and Kaiser breaking up and all that shit, dude, like the girls and the guys, gossip queens will eat that up. And now you got to no sell and play small. That's why you don't shit where you eat. Or if you do that in the carny wrestling world, it can end you. And if you have that heat backstage and now you've upset the order of things, there's heat on both of you. When you're together, they might split one and send them to SmackDown and keep the other one on Raw. So you're not, causing problems. They want to see how you react, and they're just effing with you. Like, giving them any piece of information about your personal life, they will use it against you. So why would you start a relationship where they can go, get out the knives and forks, boys, it's time to carve some shit up? Like, you worked so hard, or allegedly you worked hard to get there, or else you were just a hire because Ace saw you in a highlight reel someplace, but if you did work your ass off, why would you want to fuck that opportunity up once you are finally on the road?
It's very, I don't know, disturbing how much these people backstage really like to fuck with people like this. You know what I mean? Like,
dude, it's exactly like eighth grade. It's exactly like eighth grade. Like, all the fucking run tell that no alliances. We were friends yesterday and now I hate that bitch today. Like, that's exactly how it is, but it's at a higher level with a lot of money involved. And sometimes, and when you have all the money, what else is there left for you to do except fuck with people's lives? It's entertainment. They're on the road all the time together. So,
I mean, is that an effect because of the wrestling industry, or is that just a cause and effect because, like, it's just been going on for decades and no one knows how to break the cycle?
No, that's what it's. The heat's going to land on somebody, always. There's always heat. And if this week it's your turn because of XYZ reasons, that's what it's going to be, and a relationship puts you right in the crosshairs. When they see that, they go, okay, it's only a matter of time, but let's fucking fuck with them a little bit and see if they break. And they will, because these aren't and I hate this word soulmate. Like, I found my soulmate. People in my hometown of 5,000. Oh, really? Out of 5,000 people, you found your soulmate on the entire planet? Sure. Same thing in the fucking locker room. Like, once you're in this mob, to go date outside of it and civilians who aren't smartened up is a hard thing to do. That's why so many workers get married. It's more of a relationship of convenience and knowing what the lifestyle entails than it is actually finding a partner that you were meant to be with. And that's why many of them end in marrying another worker who happens to be more over and more wealthy, right? Like,
right.
Easy couple examples that way of how chicks will be with somebody and switch up if they think they can fucking get a fatter paycheck out of that worker. And how can you trust your wife or husband fully if that's what you're agreeing into? So none of these relationships are truly built on trust and love at its most root foundation. They're built on sex appeal, convenience, and carniness. Now give me the ring and say I do. Or give me the ring and say I don't, because I want to embarrass you that way, Nikki Bella. You know what I mean? Is what the Office did to her. And then they brought those girls in. Like I said, I'm not here to shit on people's marriages and how things work. Maybe things work for you, but I just described what they both tried to do. Bree's still with Daniel Bryan, a top guy. Nikki tried to fucking bag Cena. That ended badly. Like, these are just the game moves of over and over. And you can go back to, what's her name? The bombshell blonde is with Rena Mero. And now she's with Brock. You go to Lady Deborah. Switched it up a couple times.
Right.
Woman switched it up a couple times. It goes on and on. Lita, like, some of them are good workers. Some of them are eye candy. Some of them are doing 10 years in prison for killing people in a fucking hit and run.
So, of course, you've got wife number one, who's not part of the wrestling business. How did you avoid all of that? What made you decide not to date in the wrestling industry?
Deep cuts with the more and post American Legion. Sorry. Sorry, say that again.
Your wife number one for you is obviously not part of the wrestling industry. How did you avoid dating in the wrestling industry?
Yeah, I was teaching at acting school in OV and doing OVW and teaching at a college. Your mom goes to college. And she was in the modeling program there, and also working as like a personal assistant and whatever, office secretary. So that's where we had met. And so it's not like she was in acting. I mean, she's done 3 commercials and 1 feature TV show, that Tom Mabe comedy show. So she's had some stuff on, so I'm real proud of her that way, but she's not a spotlight addict or a theater kid that came up. In fact, her family's very science oriented. Her dad, before he passed, was big into polymers and things along those lines, like the actual chemistry creation of it. Her brother is these we call fucking heart cardiologist.
Okay.
So very, very smart stock she comes from,
Did you ever, did you ever have anybody in the industry who was like, "What's up?" And you were like, "Nah, I'm good. Like, I don't want to date anybody here."
No, I just have always kind of been like that. My dad, I don't know if my dad was like, "Don't shoot where you eat," when I was a kid.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
And when it comes out, because I never even really did that in improv either. I'd seen that where people date and then it becomes a big thing in the theater. And I'd seen it as a little kid growing up in musical theater, like casts are weirdly incestuous. So when it comes to that and who's going to have the summer fling, and it becomes a big, oh my God, and shocking drama, people blow it up to the fucking nth degree until the leading lady asked, "I can't go on. We broke up 2 days ago." Like all that shit. Like, I'm like, fuck not that, dude. I'm not dealing with these theater bitches anymore. By the time I was out of college, I was like, no, I'm good, dude. There's plenty of other fish in the sea. But then if you marry like I do, wife number one, and she lived at OVW and we lived in an apartment together with everybody, like from, everybody.
So she was exposed to that.
So you're hearing every Monday night, it's Man Beast, Power, Serena, APOC, Baltimore, Jamin, Hog Wild at my place to watch Raw. And, we're doing tape review and writing. So they're by proxy, like any mafia wife in it. They're going to know a lot, but they're not susceptible to heat. If you start bringing your wife around the locker room, now you're an idiot, because the dudes are going to want to bang her or just start shit that you brought a civilian to the locker room. Oh, that's whose wife? Oh, okay, respect her, but whatever. That's kind of how it is. So I kept her away from that, but she knows it all. Like when it comes to Carney speak, or how to kayfabe and when to fabe, or what the work is, or, like she spots it a mile away, like a seasoned veteran worker would, because you've been with me for 18 years, so the wives play an important role, especially if they're outside of the loop, because they've seen us and heard us on podcasts and how we talk so much. It's just part of who they are. Stevie's wife, also not anywhere near the business, but very in tune with the business and how it works. You know what I mean? So, yeah, then those marriages seem to work out way better than any entertainer marrying another entertainer. You almost need a civilian who understands the carniness to keep you grounded from going way out, because 2 workers will just keep gassing each other up into this fantasy world inside the bubble. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a weird thing, bro. It really is. And I don't know. I mean, obviously she sacrificed a lot for wrestling to have to deal with me with a fucking huge ass beard and all the controversy and being gone on weekends like that. Not a lot of wives can let you go free to pursue what your career is, and the moment you're making while you're doing it for not a lot of money and expecting, what it is. But when when they go out to places with you, and then like people come up and like, oh, I saw you and can I get autograph? They realize what the magnitude of it is, and you're not just their dumb husband. You're always going to be perceived as that, but they do understand the star power of what you've been trying to build. So, or hopefully they do, because it is self-serving, but we all enjoying it together, because if they were making a headache of it all, it wouldn't be the journey that I set out on, and we would have to find separate paths to go at that point, So they make a sacrifice too, absolutely.
Well, the bubble seems to be shrinking, Ben, when it comes to viewership, because according to last week's SmackDown, the August 29th, 2025 edition of SmackDown drew a 1.147 on the USA Network, down from 1.25. How are these guys getting billions of dollars, making all these, contract negotiations, when the content of their show is not even being viewed by anybody? The show aired on a 6-hour, the show aired on a 6-hour delay since it took place in France, and it featured Sami Zayn winning the United States title. But a 1.147, man, that's atrocious.
Yeah, that is atrocious. 1.8 was atrocious. So now we're down 40% from that number, which was down 50%. So we're down, really, let's say it was 3 point. If we're going back to when USA got it from Fox, it was like a 2.2. So we're really down 50%, and it makes you wonder, like, what do they have on USA that they can keep holding them over the barrel? Is Ducey and Nick Khan and Ari really this good at negotiating deals for properties that lose half of their value? I don't understand. Well, I guess I do. I put it over where I've shit on executives. To me, these are fireable offenses for whoever's at the top at USA. Somebody needs to be replaced because they've been sold a bad bill of goods when it was USA independently by Viacom. Or is it a GE property? I think it's a Viacom property. And they bought Raw, and that's when Chris McCumber was there, but he left. Then they restructured into NBC, got the Peacock deal done, but all of the USA upper brass were pretty much wiped out, and the rest of it was USA was folded into NBC with people who were not seasoned enough to hold the top positions. Well, when you're dealing with carnies like that, that's sharks, and that's easy chum in the water to eat these guppies up, to say, oh, we had a great working relationship with Synergy in the past, and now you can get SmackDown at even less cost, and and they sell them again, another used car. Like, it's not the same buyer, but it's the same corporation possibly getting the deal done. So they just look for the next sucker to be able to, like, you're going to get this deal done and you're going to fail upwards. They won't say that, but to show that you can close, like, and that's what a new executive wants to do, is to go show the top board members that they got deals done with global brands. And you can have all these graphs with advertisers and everyone's saying yay, but the reality is the show is trash. So your audience is dwindling down, but who knows? Maybe you're making the most from advertisers now that you weren't making in that spot before. Maybe until you hit Seinfeld number, which means we can put on syndicated Seinfeld instead of SmackDown, it'll cost us less and we'll make the same revenue. Maybe you are in the positive in their eyes. I don't know how their metrics work, but to me, this is really Nick Khan and Deuce being able to sell a lemon over and over and over again. And there's no consistent executive. The rollover is so much that when the next one walks in, it's an easy work for them because they've already done it at Fox, at Warner Brothers, at CW Network, at UPN, at fucking, right? Like, and some of those aren't even around anymore, CW and UPN. But they sharpen their swords on those guys who are like, new network, I'm a new network exec. Yeah, I want to work with WWE. Sure you do, buddy. We're the worldwide leader in sports entertainment. Just ask us, and then you put it on ESPN after they've had a big rollover of upper management. Somebody thinks they're doing a cheap deal for 1.5 billion. They cash that check. Now they don't have to deliver. There's nobody to follow up on them in having to deliver a quality product each week. The check cashed, on to the next one. We know our product shit. We just tell the fucking goof that's in charge now a bunch of bullshit worked lies and metrics that we've told other ones, and we can keep going on with this scam, bro. It really is like a fucking town to town pyramid scam, really, in how they sell it, dude. So 1.1 might be time to get a hold of Bonnie Hammer.
It might be time. Well, WWE Twitter account has a little bit of controversy this week, as well as WWE's shop official Twitter account writes about AJ Lee returning to the ring, but then deletes the post. Tweet, apologize, dive, repeat. Wrestling Days YT asked WWE's official Twitter account, "Where's the AJ Lee merch? What am I supposed to wear on Friday when I watch SmackDown? Normal clothes?" And WWE shop responded, "Hey there. Of course, we wouldn't expect that. With AJ Lee's return to the ring, we are looking to have some gear hopefully in time for WrestlePalooza. Be sure you're signed up for emails and get the latest updates on new live inventory. Happy shopping."
That means whoever works in WWE shop doesn't watch the program and stooged off what's coming because they probably have a month ahead of what's coming down the pipe. And they just, AJ Lee's is back. They'd probably just think that. So we got to get working on the merchandise and stooged off. So the heat's in the air. It's got to come down on somebody this week. It will be whoever runs WWEshop.com Twitter for not watching the product, knowing that AJ Lee's not back. And also who the fuck is buying AJ Lee merch? I'll tell you who. Me. Around Christmas.
To give it to Vince Russo?
Around Christmas when it's $4.99 a shirt and suit on clearance because none of it's sold, so Vince can have some great Christmas presents. So bring on all that AJ Lee merch that's not going to sell a fucking bit.
And the last piece of information, or I guess a bit of news, is regards to AEW. So AEW, of course, they've got their pay-per-view coming up.
All right, just one thing with
go ahead.
AJ Lee. Never a big proponent. I don't know her. I'm sure she's a lovely, lovely young girl. Or maybe not so young anymore. But I didn't really care for that era at all of like, hey, look it's a girl dressed like a 12-year-old skipping around the ring. Very creepy to me. Not what I like. I like a curvy, voluptuous,
full-figured woman.
Jessica Rabbit type woman. That's my fucking style. So now we're promoting like this weird Britney Spears pedo shit, and I didn't think that was good. And 90-pound chick is going over strong on people. Okay, now we're phony as fuck. Now I even see new hot pictures of Trish Stratus dressed like a fucking Britney Spears meets I don't know, Powder Puff Girls type shit. Again, little girl fantasy stuff. These are supposed to be women like in their 30s, 40s, headed to 50s, and they're trying to encapsulate some weird fucking pedo stuff for these dudes in the front row of France who with all in glasses and their hairlines back here to jack off to, and then they wonder why they get accosted at an Uber by these fucking dudes. Like they're the ones making the sauce, bro. And like, it's crazy. Why wouldn't you have Trish Stratus as a power woman executive, senior vice president, sexy looking woman? Is AJ Lee going to wear fucking Daisy Dukes and skip around the ring at whatever she is, 36? Now I'm just guesstimating. Years old, acting like a 12-year-old. I'm supposed to be into it because that's what she used to do 10 years ago when they tried to make her relevant and it sucked. Like, do I have to sit there and watch a woman fucking skip around the ring like a fucking child because that's all we know her for? It's crazy, dude. Like, of what they want to do to bring him back. And like, she wasn't that good in the ring to start with, but now she's rolling with CM Punk. And I watched this head scissor takeover and all this shit. I'm going, now Punk has got to have his wife pushed, and he's the one training her, a guy who's at the end of his fucking career. Now he's got to take bumps for his wife in training. Every time you fucking bump, cha-chink, cha-chink on the fucking bump card. Like, this is life inside the bubble, bro. Life inside the bubble. Making your wife your podcast fucking co-host with no insight. And now the interviews are like vanilla as shit because we can't really talk like the boys because, you know, she's got to get her shit in too. It's crazy. Like the product is in quality is suffering because of these relationships that they think we want to see. I don't want to see it. I don't care at all. Well, Rio's back. That's all.
Yeah, Rio's back. That's well, speaking of Rio, AEW. AEW is my last piece of news for you today. Ben, AEW All Out officially airing at 3 p.m. Eastern with a discounted rate on HBO Max. So they sent out the following press release. HBO Max to stream live All Elite Wrestling pay-per-view starting with All Out on Saturday, September 20th at 3 p.m. Eastern. Beginning Friday, September 5th, HBO Max subscribers in the U.S. can pre-order AEW All Out for $39.99, the first ever pay-per-view event to be offered on HBO Max. HBO will stream live AEW pay-per-views events without ads, with all marketing and promotions of AEW events primarily centered on HBO Max. Of course, All Out is Toronto is the next pay-per-view, and they originally were going to go head-to-head with WWE. What are your thoughts on Tony Khan pivoting and moving the show to 3 p.m. Eastern?
I think that's a sell. I don't think that's the way to go. They came at you. You're trying. I get the move because you don't want to lose or fall off, but that's not knuckling up. That's backing up and retreating. Where you should go, okay, I'm going to make sure I've got something counter programmed. In fact, I'm going to try and find out their whole run sheet. I bet there's stooges inside WWE for Khan, and get a picture what the run sheet is and have my show be fluid where I can have key points of my show that will be controversial so no one flips over to their shit. And if that's a Killer Cross, an Elias, I don't like, we got to come up with a bunch of like maybe 3 or 4 key points that are like shots at WWE during our show. Because why not call this what this is, this skirmish, this battle for supremacy in that time slot, and them trying to hijack your audience? I would call that out on air and be like, you don't want to be going over there because tonight there's going to be shots fired. You know what I mean? So you better have 3 or 4 one-upsmanship things to have the first one be, oh my God, the second and third to really take it to another level of the internet's talking. And this is the night that the Boston Tea Party happened or whatever to really set things off. So moving back to 3 p.m. shows some pragmatism in like, all right, we want our audience to not flip over so we can get a true metric. But now that also looks weak. And when you have your enemy retreating from the high ground, you stay after them and keep pushing them back and pushing them back. You don't let them regroup.
Rick brings up a good point. He says, I can't believe AEW couldn't get a better deal on pay-per-views or use the old 2CW warfare trick and give All Out for free. Do you think that they should be giving this pay-per-view out for free on HBO?
Absolutely. Free for view to kick it off, right? Isn't it the first event that's with them?
Yeah.
That's a marketing. What's the best price for anything? Free. People respond to that word, free. So
and it drives subscriptions. Like,
yeah, your product sucks, you have to give it away. Like, there'll be those haters. But if you got little kids going, can we sign up for the new thing for $29.99 or whatever it's going to cost, like for this pay-per-view? Or no, we've got wrestling at home, it's free. And fucking that's on. Like, people want that, especially with here's how I see it. Let's go back to Mr. Mom. During these trying times, Schooner Tuna wants you to know we know what mothers are going through, and we're not going to raise our prices. Or we are going to raise our prices, but when this is all over, we'll go back to this promise. So, hey, this is Tony Khan, and we know that families out there right now, that your entertainment dollar is strapped. It's back to school time, and you spent a lot on your kids' education, and we want to say thank you for being such great parents and great students. So tonight, we're going to present this for free to all the kids out there for back to school, because we want you guys talking about it on the playground, like whatever it is, right? Like,
yeah,
give like the Noble Edge effect. If you give the right speech, people are going to be like, I fucking like that weird little dude. he gave my kids entertainment. I've been tired of dealing with all this school shit, and I can just let them zone out for 3.5 hours. Now, in that, you can't have Moxley cutting somebody's ear off because he wants to mark out to do Reservoir Dogs because fucking Masterson just died or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be smart in your show of what you're going to do afterwards. You can't, if you're going to give it away and invite people to do that, as much as I like it, you can't have Tony Storm saying cunt on a promo or anything like that on that show. But what you can do is have a Killer Cross, lights up, lights down. Oh my God, they're talking. Who else is freshly released?
I don't know. I'm not paying attention.
Yeah, I mean, we can put together a short list of oh my God moments. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or somebody coming back to do something that's on your roster already. So, but yeah, that is the iFree review is absolutely like value added to the audience's experience, where they then feel positively about your brand afterwards.
Well,
and what does that cost him if he's fucking losing a fuck ton of money already?
Plus, I mean, if you're already an HBO Max subscriber, let's say you've never watched AEW, but you turn on...
I'm a Steph's VPN subscriber.
Okay, well, if you turn on HBO Max on Saturday and you see it's free, you're probably more apt to check it out than to want to fork out $39.99 for a product you've never watched before.
That's fine, but you got to do something before, like in the week. When is the show? 20-something?
September 20th.
So you got 2 weeks from tonight, Thursday. So 2 weeks really, in a couple days to fucking really go with this, even start on Collision or whatever it is, of Tony Khan, huge announcement. We love those, don't we?
Oh, we do.
And that's where you announce for free to get the buzz going for 2 weeks, not 2 days beforehand doing it. You get people talking and the kids talking. Mom, we can get the pay-per-view. I'm not buying it. No, it's free. Bullshit. No, look. And now the parents and the kids are talking about it, and the kids at school are talking about it, and you've got some buzz going. And then you have to have your moments of bang, bang in the fucking shot, so no one leaves to go to or the WWE people leave to come to your free show, of what's going to happen next.
It's also like drugs, right? You give them a little bit for free.
They keep coming back, right? Any good drug dealer, for sure. That's how we have to recruit new people. Maybe every year at this time, that becomes the back to school free for view.
Yeah.
All that shit.
All right, well, Ben, that's all the headlines I've got today. We've gone an hour and a half. Do you have any other topics you want to discuss or get off your chest?
It's the return of Big Annie. She's coming back. The big announcement. Nah, man, great headlines today. 90 minutes ripped by quickly. So I feel like we did our due diligence on talking all that shit in the locker room. Hot headlines, controversial stuff with Hogan and Raja Jackson and Dr. Evil himself with his girlfriend while he's still married. What could possibly go wrong now? So yeah, man, is another great day here at HMG. Thanks for being in the chat room with us, you guys. And hopefully your fall is ready to brawl, because we're it all here on the Friday Locker Room. Make sure you're checking out the Suck My Balls podcast, because those South Park episodes are always red hot and controversial, and nobody's got the best insight better than MSG and the squad over there.
Yeah, check out my podcast at SMB, a South Park review on all podcast outlets. And then, yeah, check out the YouTube channel at South Park Pod on YouTube. Brand new top takeaway video coming on South Park's brand new episode that dropped last night. It's all about the controversy and craze on Labubu's. Do you know what a Labubu is, Ben?
Yeah, I kind of do. Aren't they like the newest weird dolls or whatever the fuck? You know, like, didn't we go through this with the ones that looked like owls with big eyes? What were the fuck were those?
Funko Pops?
No, there was another one that was like a weird fucking creature one like 10 years ago. They were like bird fucking big eye bird things. I can't remember what the fuck they were called. But it was some stupid name like that. I think they just put into Furbies. Thank you.
Furbies.
Get me goddamn Furbies. So, you know, this is just the cycle repeating itself, whether I'm sure Digipets were the pet rock of 2000, right? Like, it's going to be the same shit. Always making new little kids, and they always respond to weird bird-like fucking creatures. So, Lyra Velcro, you're over as far as I'm concerned. Fuck yeah.
And of course, shout out to you guys, the chat room. Last week, you guys went to my page at Matthew_Schaffer on my Twitter, and you retweeted the trailer for my movie, Modern Folklore movie. So I appreciate that. Keep doing so. If you haven't hit my page, Matthew_Schaffer on Twitter, and tweet out that that link for that trailer for Modern Folklore movie, brand new horror movie that I'm in. Drops October the 17th on Apple, Google, and what else? What's the other one? Amazon, and there's other streaming platforms that will become available there.
Drops on Steph's VPN.
Yeah, and if you use a VPN or whatever, I appreciate that. Don't use watchseries.ie or whatever it is, idkfm.com. I'd appreciate if you purchased the movie and watched it and give me your feedback. So, or not, wait for it to come out free on streaming services as well. I'm sure it'll be there somewhere down the line too. So
awesome, man. Super proud of you. Excited to hear that announcement. And we can't wait to watch it all together here on HMG and help with that promotion when it drops on the 17th, bro. Excellent work. And y'all, you guys, you were excellent today, sitting through all the rants and bullshit. But, keep subscribing, keep cheering, keep using the Facebook discussion board, and keep sharing all those great clips from Kaz and RBV. And we'll be here to cover the freak show as long as we can. Comment inbound. It's Hacker Hamin. It's MSG. It's the Friday locker room.
Ding dong. Hello?
That's what I'm saying.